So, for today's session, we would like to talk about how opening the doors to the right people and the right proof can get you into the top schools like you want. So, like networking and how you could showcase yourself to admission officers to get a higher likelihood of getting admitted into top colleges and universities. First off, I'd like to start by giving a little background information on myself. So currently I study at the University of Pennsylvania with a biology major on the pre-dental track. And I come from an underfunded school which had very limited opportunities. They had like IB and AP courses, but they didn't have like the top courses, and they had little to no like teachers who are able to provide you with the help that you would need in order to be seen. And I'm an IB diploma graduate and a National Honor Society president within our school. And yeah, I built my Ivy League profile from this school with the help of my teachers who were my primary mentors. I didn't sign up for any sort of mentorship or whatnot when applying. Okay, so today we will be talking about why this is important. Like why, first of all, the premise, why nobody is going to come to find you. The network, which helps you to reach people who can open doors for you. And the showcase, which is how you're going to build proof that can be remembered. And then the mandate, in which you reach out and showcase. Okay, so first of all, admissions officers are not coming to find you. You need to show yourself to them. Usually, when admissions officers are going through applications, all they give you is 8 to 12 minutes of skimming through your file and seeing if you would pass on to the next stage. The thing with that is most of these files have top grades, SAT scores, IELTS, what's not. So you need to find ways that you can look different. You can stand out more. They want to build the thing with colleges and universities here is that they want to build a class, not a list. They don't want to build a list of top grades or whatnot. They want to build a class of people with different talents, different interests, and different ways that they can ultimately contribute to society. And you have two moves to try to be one of those standing out students. You have to reach the right people and then show those people proof that they will remember, so that they will back you up when they're going through applications, when they're re-looking through several applications, reading your essays, etc. Okay, so the way that you can open these doors to yourself is through networking, which can be done on, nowadays it's usually done on LinkedIn. You just reach out a bunch of people through LinkedIn, admissions officers, Ivy League students, alumni, etc., mentors, professors, and you have to find these doors. You really, truly have to look. The door is not going to come to you. You have to go find the door yourself. And this, finding the door, gets you into the room. Now, a lot of students find the room, they get into the room, but to proceed, there's more you need to do. You have to be good at showcasing yourself. You have to build proof that they would remember. And this can be projects, research, leadership that you have done, community service, and other forms of real and measurable impact. So they don't want a list. They want evidence. They want to see the statistics of what you have done and how that has contributed. They want to see your reflections of how you being involved in this thing has made the impact that you say it has made. So this way you'll be able to stay in that room and proceed further. Okay, now we would like to talk about who to network with. Like, who are these people who can open these doors for you? These can be professors and researchers, And you can find information on these people in the sites of the Ivy League like websites as well. Like if you are that willing to get into that college or university, they always have this section where they talk about the different researchers they're doing in different departments and the PIs for those researchers and what they have found. And if you can go deep enough and find the contacts of those persons and reach out to them, not just reach out where you just email once and you wait forever. Reach out where you show why you're interested. You maybe perhaps you do a little like deeper research on what they're researching, and like when you're emailing them in the email, like show that you have dug deep into their research to show why you're interested, because like they usually don't get like non-college or university students, right? So you have to show that you're extra interested in it. And there's also alumni and current students who can help you open the doors because they have personally experienced this process, and the things that they have done, like hearing about the things that they have done, can help you get something from it to help, not to copy, to help you find a way to make yourself stand out, because they don't want copies. Like if they already got this specific type of student the year before, and they remember, and usually admissions officers don't always change, right? So they might remember the student. If you look exactly like this student, why would they want another copy of the same student? They wouldn't. Also, you can look for programs and summer directors. Like the top colleges and universities always have things that they're doing in different fields, like summer programs. Some of them in person, some of them are online. Digging deep into these things and giving those a try can be helpful. Also, I know like in Uzbekistan themselves, there's like research summer camps that are held. I think one I know is Hogwarts. Those can be really helpful as well because they also have connections, like top connections from top colleges and universities or mentors and whatnot. And yeah, these people can open these doors for you. The key is looking for them and showing your interest to them and not giving up until they see you. And the places in which you can find them is LinkedIn. Most of them already use LinkedIn or some other form of communication, such as email or whatnot. There's lab and department pages, as I've said before. Like if you search from the colleges and universities, they always have this list of the different like research that they're conducting. You can also use Google Scholar if there's anything like specific research you're particularly interested in. You can use Google Scholar to read through published researches and whatnot, and then try to reach out from there based off of like the author of the research. And there's also webinars and info sessions, which will help you get a better understanding of how applications like work in the US. And perhaps even if there's people from, I don't know, alumni or even admissions officers in those info sessions, and they consistently see your interest, that can help you stand out as well. So yeah. And many academics reply faster on Twitter than on email. So if you're able to find their Twitters, that would be helpful. And here's an example of the type of cold emails that can help you get replies. For your subject, you have to make sure you're being specific, such as student interested in your cell biology research. But I would say go a bit deeper than that. Like what specific cell biology research are they doing, right? That can help you stand out even more. There has to be a hook. So name a specific paper or a finding that you read through within that paper to prove that you have gone through that paper, that you have read it, that you have interested in it. And you also have to make sure you're actually like telling them who you are, like a little background, like 1 to 2 sentences of who you are, what you've done, or like what you want to do. And then make your offer. Like, how will you actually benefit this lab or research or whatnot? And also, as a forwarded email or reply, you would have to tell them about your availability as well. Or like even in that first cold email too, that could be helpful. Like if they see that you're willing to have high availability for this opportunity, it will help them see how important this is to you. And you just have to ask for some sort of meeting where you're directly speaking with them. It doesn't have to be in person, like some sort of Zoom meeting or something. Like if you say something like, could we talk for 15 minutes? That's going to help them see you better, like your interest better than constantly just emailing and proceeding this communication through email. Because when they like see you, it shows more credibility and also how willing you really are to this. Plus, it helps them know if you're actually interested in their research. Because, like, for all they know, you could have, I don't know, ChatGPT'd about their research, right? So, like, when they talk, they can have a better understanding of your actual interest. And also, you have to try to make the email concise, right? These professors and mentors probably have a bunch on there that they have to go through. And like, if it just is asking for so many things or like vague things, they don't want to go through that. And usually that doesn't end well. The communication stops there. So here's a example email, cold email from start to finish. So for the subject, they have written, student interested in your work on stem cell biology. Hi, Professor Karimov. I'm a final year student in Tashkent, fascinated by molecular biology, and that's their little like background of themselves. I read your 2024 paper on stem cell timing and was struck by how you tracked it with microRNAs. That's the hook. Like that shows that you went through their research, saw like its results and how you grew interested in it. This year, I ran an independent project on plant cell growth and learned data analysis in Python. I'd be glad to help with data work, literature review, or anything your lab needs this summer. And this is you offering like your purpose basically behind writing this email, right? It's not like you're unsure of what you yourself can offer to begin with. You know what you can offer, you know what you could bring to their table. And finally, could we talk for 15 minutes? I'm flexible around your schedule. That shows your availability. That shows you're willing to make time for this opportunity. And then finally end with a thank you, sincerely, warm regards, anything of that sort. The thing with cold emails is you can't just send one and expect it to work out. You have to look through the different opportunities that you could have, the different things that might research you, and you have to send so many. Like if you send 20 to 30, for example, you're only going to get 2 to 3 replies, right? Just one send won't result in one reply, right? And I'm specifically going through this right now too, as I'm looking for dental shadowing opportunities. I just sit down, like I dedicate like, I don't know, 2-3 hours to research different dental offices or whatnot, like what they do, like is it general dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, etc., why I'm interested in that, how I can like contribute to their office, you know. And then after that, after not receiving an email for, who knows, maybe like 3-4 days to a week, you have to do follow-ups. These follow-ups like help them see that you really are interested in this. But also you don't want to keep doing it over and over and over again, because like if they denied you, or if they're just not seeing it, it just means that most likely they don't have that opportunity. And also, a no can be a door too if you try to make it one. Like if they're saying, no, we don't have this offer available, opportunity or whatnot, you can always go back and ask for other opportunities that they may be aware of, because they're in the field, right? They have connections. They might know like other mentors or researchers who are looking for students, and maybe they're able to help you by offering you to somebody else, like to gain more connections, you know? So this is not a rejection if your cold emails don't work. It's a number game that if you're consistent, you can win. All right. Well, this would have been fun to do a little poll thing or something, but the answer is already listed. So let's go through each of these emails and which one's most likely to get a reply. Dear sir, I am a hardworking student. Please give me a research position. That is very generic. You say hardworking student. Most students are hardworking students. Most students would consider them that. They need more than that. They need, are you like a high school student, post-high school, gap year student? What are you, and what is your interest? What field are you trying to look for? And please give me a research position. Also very generic. In what specific portion? What type of research position? What will you do in that position? Are you going to do a wet lab? Are you going to do data analysis? What are you doing? And the second option is, I'm top of my class with a 5.0 and many awards. I want to join your lab. That doesn't show your interest for that lab that much. That just looks like you're trying hard to brag about yourself, right? Which they would dislike. It doesn't show the connection. Okay, you're top of your class, but that doesn't show you why you would be fit for this research, right? Many students can be top of their class, but that doesn't mean they're fit for research. I want to join your lab. What specific, what kind of lab is it? Do you even know what kind of lab this is? Or are you just emailing because if it's this top lab known by many people, right? You have to be more specific. And the third option is, I loved your paper on whatnot. I built this and could help with this. 15 minutes. Well, obviously you wouldn't write it like that. It would be a more structured sentence. But the idea here is that it's really specific. You're really diving deep into what this paper was. You're diving into how you have interacted with such things and how you could contribute to their research or paper or whatnot. And then asking for, you know, some time to speak in person, like through a Zoom or whatnot. So yeah, specificity matters. And also with the activities that you do throughout high school, the depth in those matters more than the quantity, than the breadth, you know? Like, they don't want to see a bunch of activities that you have just done and they just don't know which one is you, right? They want to see what makes you you. You being involved in 15 shallow activities won't get you anywhere, but if they see 2 to 3 activities that you have been involved for a good amount of your time, and that shows, like, it shows more about you, that is going to help. For example, I did more activities than I listed on my application, right? I could have listed everything that I try to give a try, but I didn't, because I was not committed to all of those things. I tried to keep the things which I was committed to, which was just 6 things. I only had 6 things on my application. That's it. Also, with the APs that I didn't try to go into every AP, score a 5, whatnot. I tried to pick and choose the APs that aligns with my path, which is STEM, right? So that also like showed them my interests and what I really want to do when I get into their university. Like my National Honor Society responsibility show them that I could be a strong leader. I have good communication. I have event planning, etc., whatnot, and I made sure to speak of it somehow throughout my application. And social justice, it showed them how I'm willing to fight for the rights of students and people and whatnot. And my involvement and loyalty to that club for over 3 years showed that I was committed to doing so, and I was willing to do so in the future in their university too, right? So that way, I was able to know how I can make that impact. So the spike is a trajectory, not a title. You have to be distinctive. So it's better to have activities which you have leadership positions, right? If I was just like a National Honor Society member for the 3 years that I was in it, I wouldn't really be showing much. I wouldn't really be contributing much. But I tried harder. And sophomore year, I was just a member. Junior year, I was a vice president. I was already in those meetings, already planning sessions. My other cabinet members were seniors. I was the only junior. And senior year, since they saw how well I was being the vice, I got opportunity to be the president. And I was able to do more for that club and organization within our school. So you need to find a way to turn the activities into your proof. So like show how you were involved in that activity. Don't just tell that activity, you know? For example, saying volunteered at a clinic versus ran 6 health workshops for 300 plus students in my district. That shows the statistics of what you did and your impact, right? That's much better. Or member of a debate club over founded the school's first debate team, now 40 members. It shows the impact that you have had on this club, not just a member, you know. Another example, saying interested in biology over independent research on cell growth, mentored by a university PhD. See, that is some really high level stuff. Like I myself never actually did research either, but another way you could actually show your interest in biology is trying harder level courses for those topics, right? Because you might not have this independent research opportunity to begin with, but you can always try to apply to like an AP biology or whatnot, or maybe try to work with like local labs around you that are willing to open the space for you so that you can develop lab skills before you even go to the university. Also something like helped with school events over led a 12-person team raise $2,000 for a local cause, right? This, you're directly with the numbers showing, measuring your impact, right? That's what they want. They want you to show it, not tell it. So that makes the difference. And this is why the showcasing matters. And also, you have to make sure that the activities you're doing are not like a scatter. What I mean by that is having some activity that doesn't really build your connection, right? For example, like I said, doing all the AP courses, getting 5s on them. They can't see you're interested in that, right? So at the end of the day, all you did was gave up so much of your time just to get those 5s, which ultimately will most likely not even get you in, but also it just kills your time, so you don't have time to do other things that you could have done instead. For example, you could be interested in biology, like a pre-health field or something, and you are a part of the social justice club, right? This shows your interest for health equity and how you can help people get like the treatments that they need and stuff like that. I guess my application was basically that. And for their story, the student said, I run health workshops in underserved schools and I want to study biology to fix the gaps I keep seeing. So it ties those interests into a clear mission. For my case, I believe I tried to tie biology with my National Honor Society, right? How I could become a leading, ultimately become a leading doctor, and they could like see the leadership portion from National Honor Society and my interest in biology, showing them how like eventually I would want to be a doctor, right? And also like I had my AP scores, I had my tough STEM courses which I were taking, such as IB math, IB chemistry, and whatnot. So all of those served as proof for them to see, you know, like, and also my application wasn't scattered like everywhere. Some places that you could put your proof, which could like help you with your networking as well, for example, can be adding it on your LinkedIn, right? You can try to pin the best work you have done to the top. So like when you're reaching out to those researchers or whatnot, they can see the things that you have done and like see that, oh, the student might actually really be interested and might actually have an impact. You could also put it on some sort of portfolio or site, like a link that you could forward to these people to see you. You also put your proof on your activities and honors list, on your application on the Common App application, and also on a brag sheet or resume or whatnot, in which you log like every win. And a brag sheet is your future self's best friend. If you log your wins now, it's going to help you for essays and recommendation letters, because you're going to have this one paper that you could take a look at, see a rundown of the things you have done, how much time you have spent for those things. And that can help you find what things you should include in your essay, because you only have so many like words, right? Only 650 words. Like the other day I was sitting with one of the students that I know from my previous school, and we're trying to draft, and our draft itself has exceeded 650. So now she has to try to go in and take out the extra, which can be really hard. But having a brag sheet can help you see where you have had the most impact, which things show your interest the most. And if you condense your essay to those specific things, that can help you build an effective essay as well, which is also very, very important, right? It's essentially the one way that admissions officers can see you as the person and not just like a number or like some sort of robot with just these statistics, right? All right, so rewriting the activity. This is like a little activity that you guys can do right now. Try to pick one activity that you would consider as your most meaningful one. And with this activity, try to see if you have stats behind this activity, like the things that you have done in this activity, some sort of number, some sort of outcome that has resulted from it. And name what this impact is. Like, how did this number or outcome like contribute? Like, who did it contribute to? Who did it help? I'll just do like a 5-minute pause, I guess, for you guys to do this activity if you'd like. Now let's talk about the things that can make you forget it and just land on the pile of over 90% of the applications which have not proceeded to the next step. One of the mistakes that you can make that ends up in that is reaching out when you need something. You have to try to make sure to build these connections, these networks before, not just when you need them. And this applies with your counselor as well. For example, in the case of our school, there were 475 students graduating, right? Counselors have to write their rec letters for all 475 of those students. But the issue is, if they don't know you on that level to be able to speak good of you, to be able to speak highly of you, and not just this little script that they have that they copy paste for the other students, then you're not being able to be seen, right? So you have to make sure from before, build relationships with these people, know them, so that when you do reach out to them in need of something, it's not hard for them to say sure, or you have such a connection to the sense that they're willing to go above and beyond to find you opportunities, right? For example, I know students from my previous school that were with me, helping me. I was helping them, and they were always around me, right? Like to the personal level. And now when those students ask me for help, I don't even hesitate, right? I'm willing to take my day off, like a Saturday, to go sit in the library to work with them or something like that. But when it's a student that never really even knew me, didn't even try to reach out to me, found out I got to UPenn, and then after that, when they need me in July, try to reach out to me, I'm not that willing to help them. Yeah, like, yes, I try to help them by like giving some sort of online advice or whatnot, but I'm not willing to go meet up with them in person to dedicate time to go through their essay with them or something like that, you see? So like personal connection really does matter. So you have to be focused on getting those networks much before, not a month before you start applying. Another thing that makes you forgettable is just using adjectives, just showing, just telling, not showing, right? There's not proof. Like saying hardworking means nothing if you don't have a number behind that hardworking that shows how hard you're working, right? And also doing 15 things and not really dedicating so much time to come to the level of mastering it, like they can't see your actual interest if you're just doing 15 things and that's all you're doing. Like you're not giving excess time for this one activity to actually show a huge impact within it. And this shows no real direction to the admissions officer. So they won't be able to picture you in their school and how you're going to impact their school, right? And also not following up. Like following up can make the difference. Following up can show that you're actually interested. Like if you just send the cold email and just let it rot there for forever, maybe that person was waiting for you to send another email, right? Just to really see if you want to do this. Or maybe it just like they just have so much there that it doesn't pop up to them. But like when you do the follow-up, since it appears on the top, then they see it, right? There's always this chance as well. So you have to take all the chances that you can get. Okay, now your mandate. To reach, you have to try to send 3 cold emails or direct messages to people somewhere in your field of interest, right? Can be professors, alumni, program directors for like summer programs or whatnot. Also, showcasing. Find the top 3 best activities that you will add in your application and rewrite them. Try to rethink back to them. Like, what were you thinking when you first started this activity? Reflect on it. How did you grow with this activity? How did you help this activity grow? What are the stats? Like, what impact have you made on this program? What impact has that program made on you, right? You need to start reflecting to find your perfect essay topic, right? Because that can really make the difference. Like, I know for a fact my essay was not that strong because I only gave it like 3 weeks time, right? But I'm a domestic student, so I have less competition, and also I had really like good statistics, I guess. Like, I was the top of my class, and I was doing all the hard classes, but also like leading this huge society, which is really well known within the US, right? So I guess that still helped me stand out. But my essay was not that strong. Like, I went through it the other day and I just saw so many instances where I was just telling, I wasn't showing, right? So it can be really hard to change things from telling to showing. So you have to give yourself ample time. And also document the things that you have done. Start your brag sheet today. Add those things into your LinkedIn so the people who you're messaging know what you're doing. Log them as you go, because that's when it's fresh in your mind and you know what you did. And maybe you do like a little, I don't know, like have a little journal where you're doing little reflections of how that helped you. Because then if you go back and read those journals, that can help you write your essay, because it helps you go back to that specific day and your thoughts on that specific day. And over time, if you collect this stuff, it can help you see how it helped you grow, right? It can help you see what topic you want to focus on your personal essay. The earlier you start, the bigger you can have of a network and the bigger amount of proof that you could get. Okay, so now as we slowly approach the end, these are some things that I want you to remember. Nobody is coming to find you. Nobody is looking for you specifically. Nobody's going to say, hey, come, hey, you're this straight A student, come to us, right? Nobody's going to do that. You have to reach out first. You have to showcase yourself in front of them so that they actually see you, right? So initially, nobody is coming to find you. And also, depth beats breadth. Try to go all in on one thing rather than doing 15 of a bunch of different things, right? Go really deep. Even decide to do research on this topic. Look for great researchers for this topic. Do the research, right? This helps more. And also, show your proof with numbers rather than just adjectives every single time, right? The numbers help them see the actual real life impact that you have had. And this will always be just using adjectives because the numbers show the results. Okay, so now we are done with the presentation. That's all I have for you guys today. If anyone has any questions, they can try raising their hand and I can try unmuting them if you wish. Go ahead, Nozima.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I have a question to you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm going to plan to apply UPenn through early decision in this year. So I have a few questions about that.
Yeah. If you're comfortable asking here, sure, go ahead.
Could you please let me know how I can connect with you?
I have my Telegram,
Uh-huh.
which its username is B1 Ace.
B1
Yeah,
Ace.
B1 ACKHART.
Uh, could you repeat again?
It's B1 ACKHART.
Uh,
My username. So if you have any like general questions or something, you can ask here. But if it's specific, just DM me. Anyone
okay.
else?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anyone else have like any specific questions about networking and showcase? Perhaps. Okay, go ahead, Sanjarbek.
Hello, Muhsina. How are you today? Good evening.
Good.
Can you talk about your academics, right? I,
Okay, so by academics, do you mean like GPA, SAT, stuff like that?
yes, yes.
So for academics, I was doing, as I said, I was doing IB diploma program, which is the full program. So I had a really high GPA. My ending GPA was 4.48, I think, and my weighted was 4.0. And my SAT, I couldn't really dedicate much time to actually study SAT, which is another thing. You need to give a lot of time to study that. So I had a 1460, and I was valedictorian of my class. So like I was number one out of 475. What else do you want to know?
Extracurriculars,
So
maybe.
extracurriculars, the main extracurriculars that I was involved in is in ninth grade, I did a student leaders program to like showcase leadership. That's one thing that I included, but it wasn't the main thing. Also, I added the National Honor Society, which was one of my main things because it's the one thing that I spent a lot of time on, like to 20 hours a week on building events, holding meetings, doing tutoring within the school and whatnot. I was a part of the Social Justice Club also for 3 years, where we usually spoke up about equity, tried to solve problems within our school, like something as little as the lunch or as big as voting rights, right? And what else? What else did I? Oh, I did science fair in my junior year. So I chose a research topic and I presented that in a science fair. This sounds huger, nicher than what it actually was. It was actually most of the time I was just lost on what I was doing and I kept just asking my teacher for help. So another thing, I don't know. I added like two more things or something, but I don't know. I don't remember them anymore. It wasn't that big. Like it wasn't the things that I was
How
trying to
did you migrate to the US? How did you migrate to the US?
I'm a green card holder, so I've been living here for over a decade. Somebody else wanted to speak? Okay, go ahead. Salimov?
How are you?
Good.
I have a few questions. Like, what was the topic of your personal statement essay?
I think what I focused on my personal statement essay based off of my memory is the thing is in ninth and 10th grade, I was not that involved within my school community, right? Um, but in 11th grade, I started to be more involved, do more leadership roles, like I said, become a leader in National Honor Society rather than just a member. And I was just ultimately getting more involved. So I think I remember that's what I try to focus it on, like the growth that I had over the years of high school and how I didn't want to just be like a average student, I guess. something along
Oh,
those lines. So it was just like a little timeline of my high school years. The thing is, I didn't do the Common App essay. I did something what's called the QuestBridge essay, which is for national students, right? And that had like 800 words. So they were actually asking for kind of like a little background of your life. So it was kind of like a little biography type thing. So I started as far as like when I was much younger, when I first came to the US, but I focused most of my essay on my high school years and the growth that I had over the years.
oh, I think your major is politics, right?
No, I'm biology pre-dental track.
Oh my God, you said a lot about social problems or something just like that.
Oh,
You
social justice.
did.
Yeah. No, that's just like something that I like to do. I guess I like to fight for people's rights. That's just like helps how you could join their community, I guess, because UPenn is the type of school that likes leadership, that likes like speaking up for rights and stuff like that. So like it aligns with their values. That's why I added that. So yeah.
Oh, uh, you said that your SAT score is 1460. That's really impressive. You got into UPenn, but it needs, I think, over 1500, right?
I wouldn't say it needs because I know a lot of people who are also getting in with the 1400s, but I guess initially being something in the 1500s, it can be helpful. Like, I guess it depends on how high of scores they also have for those years. They would initially probably give more preference to the high SAT scores because they want to see that you're like it's a rigorous academic program, right? UPenn, it's an Ivy League. So through your high SAT score, they can see you're fit to like stay there and not just be like a dropout eventually. But yeah, no, plenty of people get in with something in the 1400s range too. It's just the higher spectrum is usually 1500s, yeah. And I guess for international students, that's what they like to see because they don't really have this form of seeing if you're that fit for the US education system besides the SAT or IELTS or whatnot, right? But for me, since I had their educational system, I guess it didn't matter as much.
Mm. Okay, my last question is like, do I need to be like natural or do I need to use complex grammatical structures in order to write essays like university essays? Because I heard from all of the people like they say you need to be natural, you need to be natural, but in order to be natural, like you have to use some complex structures, you know?
Yeah, you have to try to be natural. You have to try to be yourself. But also, they want, like I said, they want to see that you're fit for their curriculum, right? And for example, with Penn, they have this requirement, like writing seminar requirement, where you're going to be writing like professional papers, like white papers or op-eds or whatnot, right? So they don't want the grammar or whatever that you're using to be basic either. But still, I would say first focus on trying to make it natural, trying to bring out the story you're trying to bring out, like just like to go into the roots, right? Like yozmoqchi
Uh,
bo'lgan shu reshasiga kirish uchun avval natural qilib turasiz, keyin after you're editing it, you try to use more complex structures, like maybe use like an online vocabulary to find better words to say what you're saying and things like that. So that would be like a editing step, adding complexity.
oh, thank you so much.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? And then I'm going to move on to answering the questions in the chat. Okay, nobody's raising their hand, so I guess not. Somebody apparently asked, how much does it cost to study at UPenn and what was your SAT and IELTS score? To study at UPenn, I think the tuition and fees rate was something in like the 90K or something. But UPenn is a need-based, like financial need-based aid school. So like they cover 100% of your demonstrated needs. So like based off of the financial information that you provide them with, if they need that you need the full aid, they will give you the full aid, right? And for me, last year the cost was like 2.5 to 3K, like that I had to directly pay them. This year it became more, but that just depends on my family's financial situation, right? Somebody said, what do you think? Which one is important, stats or personality EC's writing?
Sorry for disturbing you, but I was the one who raised the hand first, but I think you
Oh,
didn't notice me.
sorry. I didn't notice you. Sorry.
So, can you name the red flag things, including, in the networking and showcase, to not, mention in application,
Red flags things to
especially networking and like showcase, and yeah,
from that you shouldn't include in the essay.
yeah, kind of like that.
I guess maybe I'm not sure. Maybe since I think one red flag, I don't know if this is the question you're asking, but one red flag is if you're spending this time to do this research or whatnot, right, with this professor and stuff, and they don't have a rec letter, I would say that's somewhat of like a semi red flag because, like, if you're spending this much time to do this research and that person is not able to vouch for you on your applications, it makes them wonder. I don't know if this was the question you were asking.
Yeah, like
That's the
it
only thing I
was
could
like
think
that.
of.
Yeah, and my next question is, when it comes to sending your SAT scores, I heard that some universities ask you to send the history of your SAT scores. All like, is it same with UPenn or?
I I think it's the same. I sent all my scores. My initial score was 1390. So I think it's the same, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what is the most unique one thing that made you stand out to make you got accepted to this UPenn?
I think
The
in
unique.
my case, what made me stand out the most is I was kind of like the high from both spectrums in my school, right? Like I was the high student, I was the top student, but I was also the student who was uh, participating in top leadership positions and trying hard to have a really positive impact on my school, like with the tutoring and stuff like that. So I guess seeing that, it helped them see that I'm able to manage these high rigorous courses, but also being involved in my community. So those two combined, I think that made me stand out from other students because not everyone
Mm-hmm.
can do that, right? Like if they have
Yeah.
really hard courses, they have a hard time being more involved in their community or whatnot. But like since they saw that I did that, they thought this person can be a top student but also make an impact in our university because they also want to see like impact in their university too, right? Like they want to see like groundbreaking research or whatnot, from their
Mm-hmm.
students. So if they see that potential in you, that gives you a higher chance of being admitted.
Mm-hmm. So that's all my questions. Thank you for your responses.
Okay. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody else? Okay. Back to the previous question. Which one is more important, stats or personality EC's writing? Um, so the thing is, if your it depends on what you mean by stats. Are you saying your stats are like really bad? Because the thing is, if your stats are really bad, like really low, like B, C's, something in that range mostly, not really that many A's or whatnot, I don't even know if they're going to take your paper and move it forward, because at the end of this day, like I said, it's a competitive program. It's rigorous, hard for students. So if they don't see your potential and thriving in their community, they likely won't consider you. So you have to have pretty well stats. Like, you don't have to have perfect stats or like I said, filled with just IB courses stats, but you need to have well enough stats. Now, in that terms, when you have those stats, if you ask, is it better to fill my schedule with a bunch of rigorous courses that most of them have nothing to do with my field, or over showcasing your personality, writing, whatnot? I would say that's more important, because that showcases who you are more than just like, just like the number, like a little statistic, right? The writing helps them see you at more like naturally like a person and not like some sort of bot, What is the single biggest mistake you see people make when they try to network or send cold messages to professionals? I guess I would say them not knowing what their offer can be. Like they themselves, it's like they're cold emailing for the sake of like cold emailing. Like, they don't know what they actually can offer to this opportunity, right? So like, if you don't know, and if you don't make it easier for them to decide what you can contribute, maybe they're not willing to find that thing for you, right? Unless you're some, I don't know, genius student or whatnot that they see a bunch of potential in. But other than that, you have to try to figure out your interest, your purpose of writing this cold email to them, and what you can offer them. Like, you have to make sure you have that offer there, I think. And can I send you my what project? What extracurriculars you made to get into your major? I talked about that, but maybe you missed it. But to get into my major, like biology specifically, I would say the top thing for my major specifically was science fair, right? And also, this is not extracurriculars, but I had rigorous STEM courses. So that showed my readiness to take a STEM track. And my other extracurriculars, mostly it was just like a way of showing that my values aligned with the values of the colleges and universities, which was like National Honor Society for leadership, social justice for speaking up, and also the 9th grade thing that I mentioned for leadership, event planning, whatnot, things like that. So the thing with the major is that, so you can, like, after you get in, you can switch your major. Like, students apply undecided as well. Like, with UPenn, technically, I'm still considered an undeclared major. I declare my major my sophomore year, but it's just I knew I wanted to go that bio track, like, since I applied, right? So you can make changes to your major technically once you get into the school too. I've seen that happen with people as well. But so long as you're able to show that in some similar field of that major, so like some STEM field, you're doing something in the STEM field or whatnot to get a STEM major, right? Like, I wasn't able to do the research that I did for my science fair. It wasn't biology related, right? It was more like chemistry/physics, but it's still like somewhere within the STEM like course, so that could still like help. Any other questions? I don't know if that makes sense, but also like that's just my take on it. I don't know how to what extent it's true either. Okay. Well, this was a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to speak to you guys about these things that can really change how you look at your applications, I guess. If you guys have any questions, you can continue commenting them in that questions thing, and I will try to answer them, or try to reach out to me. Usually I answer, and I will try to give you guys advice if you need it. And I think this is a good point to end this meet. It was a wonderful opportunity to speak to you guys. Thank you, SkillSell, for doing this for these students. I think it's really amazing that you guys want to be helping students reach their goals and get into top colleges and universities. I'll end
Thank
the
you
meeting.
very much.
Of course. All right. I think this is a good point to end the meeting. Goodbye. Hello, everybody. Muhsina here again. I hope you enjoyed my session on networking and how you can showcase yourself to top colleges and universities. I would also like to take this moment to thank the founders of SkillSell for making such a wonderful opportunity for students like you who are planning on applying to American colleges and universities. If you guys haven't already, I would suggest you go and check the previous sessions, which I believe they have uploaded on YouTube. There's really some great information on those sessions as well. And I wish everyone the best of luck on their college application journey.